What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we'll be talking about two different cryptos, KTA and Cookie DAO, Keeta and Cookie. We're going to talk about Cookie first and then KTA at the end there. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 6th day of November, and here we are sitting at about 6.7 cents for Cookie DAO. We got 3 days, 6 hours, and 25 minutes left in this week. We're trying to figure ourselves out here. Are we at the low? Do we have lower to go? You know, all that stuff remains to be seen. If we're looking at this here on a weekly time frame, we take into consideration the overall low here to the high here. We are in the heart of our golden ratio retracement zone, right? We are in the heart of, other than this scam wick being a thing, we're in the heart of what seems to be a W pattern, right? We're at the very base of this pattern here. So I guess the heart of the pattern would be here, but I just meant to say I got stuck up on the, or stuck into the thought of the heart of the golden ratio zone here. That's where we are. So do we go lower? I don't really see it happening. It can happen. It's not that it can't happen. It's just I don't see it happening. 4.4 cents would likely provide support if we do go lower. We're at 6.6 cents now. I'm hoping we don't see that, right? That would be a bit of an intense drop. I mean, if Cookie drops that much, I would imagine the rest of crypto would drop too. Or if not, if the rest of crypto is not dropping and it's pumping and Cookie's dropping that much, that could be a sign of bad things, you guys. I don't think that there's bad things going on here. I think there's good things going on here. We're going to find support and we're going to move up higher. You know what? I want to look at Cookie versus BTC. Do we have that? Do we have a Cookie BTC? There's no Cookie BTC chart. How? How is there no Cookie BTC chart? That's okay. We'll make our own BTC Cookie chart. It just won't be... It won't be in log, unfortunately. But that's okay. It says it's in log, but it's really not, right? Like you can see it's not in log. It says it is, but it's not. Sometimes that just happens. You know what? And look, you see how the numbers here are 0? That's because one cookie is worth such a small fraction of BTC that it's all the same. I'm actually going to do BTC to Cookie because for some reason when you do the bigger one first, it has an easier time. It will actually put them in log. So we'll do that. We'll click enter. We'll put it in log. There we go. See how like that's log, that's not. That's log, that's not. You see how the difference is actually there. Anyways, this chart versus Bitcoin, we're looking for it to be bearish. We want it to go down because, or no. Bitcoin, yes. Bitcoin versus Cookie. If Bitcoin's losing value versus Cookie, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin's moving down and Cookie's moving up. Likely it means that both of them are moving up. It's just Cookie's moving up at a faster pace. Okay, so we're looking for signs of a top here in this chart. We take this high here to the low. We're right in the heart of this golden ratio as well. It's perfect, right? If we take a high here to a low here, right at the 1272, a perfect area to find turbulence. If we're looking at the 1 hour, actually let's look at the daily time frame. Rejecting the overbought zone. Very positive RSI overall, though. Very, very positive. But we are rejecting the overbought zone as of now. So that could be that could imply some bullish behavior over the days to come if today does close red. Weekly time frame here. Bullish on the MACD. Bearish on the stochastics. And we do have bearish divergence on the weekly RSI. So there are some signs of readiness as far as topping off here goes. Okay. Daily time frame. No bearish divergence really. Even on the MACD, let's just see. Not really, no. But I would expect that we do turn around here. Not getting a whole lot off of this chart, and that's fine. But the weekly bearish divergence on the RSI and the bearishness on the stochastics does give me a little bit of hope that we do turn around from here and we do move lower. So that's a good sign. Cookie DAO here on the US dollar chart now. Looking at the 1 hour time frame. Let's zoom out from there, okay? 1 hour time frame, you're moving down and volume is decaying as you're moving down. You're starting to move up, volume's coming back into the upside. Hey, that's good, but we have sold off a little bit over the past few hours, haven't we? We've sold off literally from a high to a low. We've seen a 8.5% drop over the past couple of hours now. How much is Cookie down today? Okay, for some reason I thought it was down more. Okay, it's not down that much. That's good. Bitcoin's down 2.4%. You're only down 0.5%. That's good. See, showing signs that versus Bitcoin, you are ready to turn around, and I think you will. 4 hour time frame. We're actually looking at the 1 hour time frame. Stochastics are showing signs of readiness to bounce here. The MACD looks bullish actually right here. You're like back testing for support. The RSI, you do have lower lows in the RSI. You're finding support here. It's neutral. I mean, in reality, the 1 hour is just so neutral. It's hard to really get a pulse off of this. But if anything, I would say we've reset our MACD and our stochastics and we're ready to rally. The RSI is neutral. Whenever you go from bearish to neutral, maybe you shift to bullish. That's the thought there. Here, on the 4 hour time frame, we do have bullish divergence, right? You've got a low here, a higher low, and a higher low. That's triple bullish divergence technically. And that all interacts with all the way up to this low down here, all the way down at this low, all from this point here at about 7.6 cents. So I do believe that Cookie is about to see prices above 8 cents. Absolutely. I believe that's what's going to happen. Probably over the coming days. What, today's Thursday? Probably tomorrow. Maybe even over the weekend. Who knows? Stochastics are bullish, implying we have more to go to the upside. The MACD had bullish divergence, and we're cross-screen now, building bullish momentum. I think that we've stopped the downward move, and now we're just waiting for the upward move to happen. And I think that that's going to happen soon. Mark my words. Today's the 6th of November. It's the 17th hour at 40 minutes in UTC. I would bet 24 hours from now or less, we are above 8 cents. And we're at 6.6. What are we talking about here? What kind of a movement are we talking about? We're talking about a move that, if we're going above 8 cents, a 20% move or more in the next 24 hours. I truly wouldn't be surprised. Daily time frame, zooming out a little bit here. RSI is right at the areas that we typically do find support. Nice. Stochastics are oversold, but the prospects of going higher are definitely there, right? We're crossing up right now. The oscillators are pointed to the upside. And the MACD, I mean, we have bullish divergence. The MACD has very severe bullish divergence, actually. Like dating back, let's see. I guess the divergence really truthfully started here at about 8.3 cents. So again, very likely that we have found the low, very likely that we do move up. Bullish divergence on the weekly time frame as well, very severe bullish divergence there. I'm under the belief that we do see new all-time highs altogether. I know that we've seen a lower low here, but I'm going to call this a fake out low. I'm not going to measure the fib from there because while this is from a high to a low, technically this is overall one move. I feel like this is the move we're measuring. Right? That's the fake out low, and I think as time goes on, we'll validate this as a fake out low. Clearly, this is fake price action. We're not gonna accept that. The scam wick there. My thoughts are that when we do return higher, we're going to see something on the lines of a 30-cent to a 63-cent price by the end of November, okay, and then a 50-cent price or higher by the end of the year. For a long time, I had assumed that we'd see new all-time highs by the end of the year, and I still think that we could. But let's just be open-minded here. It's completely acceptable for Cookie DAO to pull a 9x to a 12x by the end of the year. We could be not at new all-time highs by the end of the year. But I am thinking, personally, if we were to see new all-time highs by the end of the year, we'd be reaching for $1.65. That's probably where we would stop. If not, I wouldn't be surprised if these targets were more reserved for sometime in January next year. And then as we progress through the cycle, as we come to the cycle's end, the expectation would be that we do see $7.50 to $10. If not, maybe $20 or even more. It depends, right? For a long time, we were thinking $20 to $46 was the range, but now $46 is a 700x from here. I think the bull market's going to end probably, in May. It's hard to imagine something goes like this all the way in April, May. Like I can't really imagine that. Just because I can't imagine it doesn't mean it can't happen. We've seen this kind of growth happen in crypto cycle after cycle. But I'm a little bit less inclined to believe that we go to $46 at this point, right? Especially with all the newfound data that we have over the past few weeks here. I would think, $20 to $7.50 is a good target area by the end of the cycle. And that would put in 114x from here to potentially something that's on the lines of like a 300x from here. All right, that's Cookie DAO. I don't really have anything else that I want to say there, so let's move on. Let's talk about KTA, Keeta the Cheetah. Keeta putting in a low. Absolutely, I think it's putting in a low. We've got this on a weekly time frame. This low came in after the 10th of October, so we can actually trust these wicks. These are not scam wicks here. We look at this on a daily time frame. I wonder if KTA versus BTC is a thing. Do we have KTA BTC? Nope. I don't want to make the chart again, so whatever. It's not hard. I don't know if we'll get as much from it. It does look like here, like we have a W pattern, right? I think it's clear as day that we've got this W pattern. We just yet to form the second leg. So as the days go on, we should see recovery. We're down 7% today. 6.16. We're down 7%. I thought we were down 11%. Maybe we were down 11% at the low, and we're recovering now. Bitcoin's seeing a little bit of recovery. The rest of the markets are seeing some recovery. Yeah, okay. That's fine. What are we doing here? What are we doing? 1 hour time frame. Low. Nope. It's not the low. We're trying, though. We're trying. Low to high. right there off the golden ratio. Man, you reached, this is very bullish behavior, you guys. You reached for the golden ratio and just skyrocketed away. This is what's called front running. Front running is when everybody's got their eye on a target from a discernible low to a discernible high. You, me, anybody who can draw a fib knows where the golden ratio is. Not just you and me, but professional traders, professional, I guess I'm a professional trader, and maybe you are too, but let's say smart money, institutional money, or people with very large bags that are trusting their funds to trading algorithms. These trading algorithms are set up around the golden ratio as well. And with that, there's probably a massive amount of buying pressure here, right? Because of that, and probably a lack of selling pressure too, because again, all the sellers are gone. Anyone who's wanted to sell at this point, you've sold, right? If you bought up here, you sold down here. If you bought up here, you sold down here, right? I didn't. I actually did buy up here, and I haven't sold. We bought way lower too, as well. But that's not the point of this video. 1 hour time frame here. The reaction that we're having off this golden ratio zone is perfect, and I would say this is off of the golden ratio zone. We do not. It's not a self-fulfilling prophecy. We do not need to interact with that zone in order to find support off of it. We're finding support now. Immaculate behavior. Very stupendous recovery. I wouldn't be surprised at all if KTA by the end of the day closed green. We got 6 hours left in the day. I mean, at this pace, man, next hour we'll close the day green, right? 1 hour time frame looks great. RSI bouncing right off the oversold zone, beautiful. Getting deep into the overbought zone, but rejecting the oversold zone. We love it. Good to see. Stochastics are coming up, and the MACD is right at the perfect area to bounce here at the 0 line. Perfect. 4 hour time frame. We're looking at this. The MACD is coming up. We're on the come up, okay, but we're not there yet. Once the MACD crosses above the 0, again, the thought here might be that we consolidate at the point of crossing. We might consolidate for a few days, and then we continue to rally. Maybe. We don't have to. We've seen it where we crossed before, and we just continue to rally, right? Back here, right? You crossed your orange line. Well, to be completely fair, by the time both oscillators crossed the 0, it was right here, you did consolidate, and then you continued to rally, right? You crossed here, you consolidated. You crossed here, whenever the orange line consolidated, you actually, whenever it broke above the 0, you were actually in the midst of your consolidation. I'm telling you guys, this is a secret. This is a life hack. Look at this. You cross above the 0, you consolidate, and then you continue to rally. Do you see it? This is something that I just coincidentally discovered, and we've used it, and it's actually helped us out a lot. Look, you cross above the 0 here with the orange line. What'd you do? You started to consolidate, and then you ran higher. So just the thought here being that while we are in the process of this recovery, and anything can happen, we don't have to consolidate. You break through the 0, who knows? Maybe we just skyrocket out of here, and that's fine too. oh no, that's not a problem. But we've noticed this with the 4 specifically. This is not applicable to any other time frame. Specifically, why, for whatever reason, the 4 hour MACD, when the 4 hour MACD oscillators cross above the 0, and specifically the orange line, we consolidate, or maybe even just before, just after, we're in a realm of consolidation that lasts for a day, 3 days, something like that, but it's a little bit of consolidation. Just something to keep in mind there, right? And then we rally, then we pump higher. So MACD looks positive, stochastics are positive, RSI is positive right now. Everything's positive. It looks good. Okay. Bounced right off the 40 after finding resistance up here. Beautiful. Go back up, get overbought. We might have a bullish weekend with KTA. That'd be nice. Bullish engulfing candle yesterday. Hopefully today can come back up and close green. I think that looked really good. Stochastics would both be pointed upwards out of the oversold zone. That's bullish as hell. We would probably get a green read here, start building bullish momentum here. After flipping red, this could be a false cross. And those kind of false crosses, they happen when you're trending higher, right? This is a little bit larger than this false cross was here, but it's comparable to this one. That was a false cross to the upside when we were trending lower. Now we have a false cross to the downside as we are potentially trending higher. Not to mention the severe bullish divergence that we had here. I think that we have more to go, guys. I really do think that we have more to go. This is literally the beginning of a full-on retracement, I think, to our all-time highs and beyond, right? High to low from the current price, in my humblest opinion, the only appropriate target to consider right now as far as what our next target is anything from 85 cents to $1.35. Why such a big range? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're in the process of forming this W pattern. Now, where did the W form? Did it start all the way up here? Is this our W? To me, maybe. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. That it seems it's kind of like detached from this. Maybe not. You know, maybe it's this overall move. Maybe the W started over here. And in which case, maybe it's appropriate even to consider targets at $1.70, as high as $1.70. Because typically with a W, you do go back to where the W began, but just above there. Right? So $1.70, maybe even as high as $1.70. Here we are at 35 cents right now. By the way, this move, it's going to happen like that. Like in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be there, man. That's the expectation here. Less than 2 weeks from now, we're going to be up. Maybe not all the way up here, maybe, but somewhere between here and there. The reason why this range is so big is because that could be the start of this W. Maybe this is the start of the W. Again, you typically go where above where the W started, so maybe the 886 here at $1.35, $1.40. Or perhaps the W started here. Perhaps that's the start of the W. It's hard to say. And if we go right above where the W started, golden ratio right there. So as maddening as it is, as frustrating as it is, you just want somebody, you want me to get on here and tell you exactly where I think it's going to go. I can't do that. I feel like this range, it's the only appropriate way to analyze this right now is to give it a range, and an appropriate range at that. And the appropriate range that we have, unfortunately, it's very big. It's anything from here, 135% in growth to 280% in growth. I mean, really, actually, let's even say 370% in growth. Anything from there, 135 to 370%. It's a huge range. And the idea here, again, is that it's a range. These are not direct levels. So statistically speaking, because we're identifying it as a range, you're the least likely to stop here and here. You're the most likely to stop somewhere in between. In my opinion, the area that makes the most sense as far as where we would stop, it would be here. It would be here as the W, and we likely do go up to this 886. So I think that we will continue. We will persist to $1.40 from here, 36 cents, a whole dollar higher, which should promote something on the lines of a almost 4x. And it's the 6th of November today. We should see this in the next 2 weeks. That's my thought. Why 2 weeks? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. Remember what I was saying about W patterns? Let's see, here to there, high to low. Okay, that was 26 days. 26 days. Typically, in a W pattern, this leg is faster than this leg. 26 days, if we cut that in half, 13 days, it's about 2 weeks. That's just my thoughts there. Is that the rule of thumb? Do you cut it in half? No. You know, maybe it's 20 days. Maybe it's 19, 18 days. I don't know. But here we are 1, 2, 3 days later. You know, if it's not within the next 2 weeks, then within the next 2.5 weeks, something like that. I would expect that we move up at a dramatic pace. This is a very fantastic reaction that we're having here. And if today can close green, that just adds to it, because you retraced today. We retraced most of yesterday's brilliant, fantastic recovery move. Retraced most of it. If we can come back up and close today green, that's very, very validating. And we're looking for validation at these areas. You want confidence to come back in, because if it does, we're going to have an easy time moving higher. Now, that's fully what I expect to happen. We're here at 36 cents now. We're going to teleport to prices that are around $1.40 or higher. At a minimum, what was the minimum? Was it 80 cents? What was the minimum here? Yeah, 80 cents at a bare minimum, right? I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe. Go Cookie DAO, go KTA. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Buy the dip.